There's nothing that beats a hot, steamy bowl of ramen. Today, we're gonna make a ramen hack that will blow your mind. This is Michael Duarte's recipe, but with my own creativeness added into it. We made the video and people responded really well, started making this recipe at home. I thought, let's make a longer version so you can kind of see the entire process. Let's go. We're making surf and turf ramen, and that includes steak. So I have this beautiful dry-aged New York strip. I personally love to use New York strip because it has the perfect fat to meat ratio. It just has some delicious meat right down the core, and then it has this beautiful outside layer of fat right here, and that's like primo. So this guy actually is bone in, so we're gonna cook it bone in, but the bone, you don't need to get bone in. And also go and buy whatever your favorite cut of steak is, but my favorite, New York strip. All right, so we're gonna add just a little bit of neutral oil to help the seasoning stick. And then cowboy butter. Buttery, rich, a little spicy. Just gonna add some delicious flavor into this ramen. Got this seasoned up, sure to season all the sides, and we're ready to go. Let's start working on the shrimp. I have about 8 to 10 shrimp. These are jumbo shrimp, peeled, deveined, tail off. I'm gonna do the same thing I did to the steak. A little bit of oil, and then this time I'm not gonna heavily season them with my cowboy butter, but just a little bit. So now that we have some beautiful seasoned shrimp, let's start cooking. All right, so we have our New York strip seasoned up, time to add to the grill. All right, so I'm gonna cook this guy for probably about 3 to 4 minutes per side. And then once he's done, pull it off and we'll start working on the shrimp. So this is a dry aged steak. Dry aging takes out a lot of the water from the actual steak itself, which means that it cooks actually faster. When you're cooking dry aged, just be careful because it will easily overcook if you're not paying attention. Okay, so we're about like 115. So I'm gonna pull this guy off, let him rest. Let's get working on the shrimp. So let's add our cast iron skillet on really quick. I'm gonna let it preheat, and then I'm gonna add in just a little bit of oil. Once the oil is starting to smoke, we're ready to go. I personally like cooking shrimp in a skillet like this because I'm gonna add in a few fun things. So I have a homemade chili oil. You can find the recipe on my blog on how to make this. I'm gonna add this in for some spicy heat. Honey, because it just adds like a nice little kick. That's mostly why I like to do that. So it keeps all of the sauce and juices in one skillet. The only thing that sucks about chili oil is that it leaves freaking stains everywhere. I've wiped this off a billion times, and there's still stains. Everywhere it goes, there's stains. It's everywhere. Okay, so the skillet's looking good. The oil is starting to smoke just a touch. Let's add in the shrimp. These guys are gonna cook really fast. So first thing I'm gonna do, drop in some chili oil over the top of them, about a tablespoon or so, and then the honey, and then we just stir. All right, so these guys are already cooked. We kind of have our classic C shape that we're looking for, and boom. Pull it off the heat, and that's it. Shrimp are done. Next thing, we're gonna make some ramen marinated eggs, or well, really just marinated eggs. They're not marinated in ramen, but you get what I mean. We're actually gonna soft boil these eggs. So I already had some eggs soft boiled. You're gonna bring it up to a rolling boil, drop them in, and they're gonna cook for about 7.5 minutes. Once they hit that 7.5 minutes, pull them off, throw them right into an ice water bath and let it sit for a couple of minutes. So these guys just came off. Let's work on the marinade. First thing, I have a bunch of soy sauce. Let's see how good my pouring skills are. Almost perfect, not very good. Next, we have some rice wine vinegar, some brown sugar. This whole recipe, including the eggs, is in my description and it's on my website. So you can follow along as much as you want, but you can go and find it right there. You can go and check it out over firecooking.com. Then we have some sesame oil. Now I'm just gonna add in a little bit of water, and then my Fire Black hot sauce. This has activated charcoal, char chilies, black lime, black garlic. It's gonna really help amplify the flavor. I'm gonna add in like a tablespoon or so of that, mix this up, and boom, have our sauce. Be a good marinade. Now, let's break open these eggs. I'm just gonna press down enough and get it to just crack, that first crack. We have our egg peeled out. Drop it in. There we go. So now we just gotta do the other eggs. We all love our classic top ramen, just like growing up in college. The funny thing is, like, I don't eat a ton of ramen, and actually my wife really loves ramen. She was the one that introduced me to this recipe. She saw Michael, my friend, make this recipe, and she was like, we need to make this tonight. And so I made it, and I was like, wow, this is insane. I hadn't had ramen in a couple of years. We made the video, did extremely well, and so now I've just been kind of on a ramen kick ever since. So we made the surf and turf ramen. I've also made a birria ramen. All of them use these eggs. Because the eggs are kind of this, like, they add this extra flavor that is just hard to beat. Also, if you do this, not the end of the world. Drop this in, let it marinate, and boom. Let's start working on the ramen itself. Boom. This is the key to fantastic ramen. Bulldog carbonara style ramen. ASMR. Is that so good? Oh my God. I'm gonna break this guy open, and it has 3 parts. First part, we have the actual ramen noodles. We have the Bulldog powder. This is like a spicy powder that helps make that sauce, the carbonara sauce. And then we actually have the Bulldog sauce. Okay, so we got our 2 packs. Let's go to the boiling water. All right, so we have our water boiling. I'm gonna drop in the ramen packets, and they should take like 4 or 5 minutes to actually cook. Drop it in. I like to flip them over once they get that initial like sogginess to them. I doubt that that's what we want to call it, but that's what I will call it. Okay, so as these are boiling, I have nothing to do. So we're just gonna chill. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. So we've been cooking for about 5 or so minutes. They look very tender. Ramen. So we got the ramen out, and then I'm gonna take like a heavy duty Pyrex bowl, and I'm gonna grab a little bit of this water because we're gonna wanna use it for the sauce. All right, then you're good. Let's go and start making this ramen. All right, so let's start by making the sauce. So I have the Bulldog sauce. I'm gonna set it right here. It's like chili oil and soy sauce had a baby. All right, then we add the powder. I'm gonna add in some minced garlic, adding in 2 egg yolks that burst open immediately, and then about 2 tablespoons-ish of mayo. And then we mix. In a way, we're making a roux, but also not really because we're not using flour. So you get this beautiful like orange-red clay color. Now, take our pasta water, and we're just gonna add in a little bit, probably about half of it, stir around. And then if you want it thicker, you're welcome to not add as much pasta water. If you want it more thin or saucy, you add in more. I actually like it a little bit more saucy, so I'm gonna just finish out the rest of this pasta water, and boom, there we go. We have our beautiful ramen noodles. Time to add these bad boys in. And now we just kind of stir it around all over the ramen, get that broth everywhere. Okay, so the ramen is done. Now we just gotta slice up the steak and top this guy off with all of our toppings. We're ready to go. Set it over here. Now let's slice open these eggs. Just this like beautiful jammy egg. We're just gonna do a couple of them. So ideally you marinate these guys for a day, but you can marinate them for just a couple hours. They will get a beautiful color no matter what. And they'll get a lot of flavor as well. Next, let's add in the steak. Just kind of spread it out a little bit. We'll add in our shrimp. Now we're gonna add just a little bit of chili oil, some green onions, sesame seed, and there you go. Here it is. The surf and turf ramen. This is very bougie looking. You do not need to make it this intensely, but that's gorgeous. With that chili oil on there, scampi, and then everybody's favorite, insane. I mean, I guess I gotta try it out. Creamy, tender. Try out some of the steak. That dry aged flavor, the funkiness to it works so well with this. A little shrimpy. You can taste the honey. The honey comes through. Oh my gosh, dude. This is wild. This is a 10 out of 10. Like seriously, go and get all the ingredients. Make this at home right now because that's insane. Highly, highly recommend. This is really not that expensive of a meal. Granted, I did like zhuzh it up a little bit, but like this doesn't need to be that expensive. You don't even need to get prime or wagyu or even dry age. Just get regular New York strips or your favorite cut of steak. The noodles themselves are like less than $5. So all in all, this is a 10 out of 10. This is such a fun recipe to make. Go and find the recipe on my blog at overthefirecooking.com or check it out in the description below. Go and check out my cowboy butter rub. Also, go and check out cowboy candy that just came out. It's insane. I've been so surprised at how well it's been selling. You guys absolutely love it. As always, stay so freaking delicious. Cheers. Oops. I'm sure Nick DiGiovanni has like a whole cutting board dedicated to doing that because leave a lot of marks.